Hello and welcome to Busy Web. This is Dave Meyer, and so delighted to have everyone with you today. This is Dave, and we've got Nick here with us as well. This is our welcome to TechNick Creative and all of the clients that have been dutifully served by Nick over the years. And Nick is here with me. I'm going to quick turn off my screen sharing so you can just see us for a moment, and then we're going to go through and get right into kind of the presentation. So let me see here. I think I should be up in a second. There we are. So Dave's here, I'm Dave, and Nick's right here with me. We're going to go back to screen sharing so you don't have to look at our sorry faces the entire time. But as we do this, there's a few things that I want everybody to be aware of. First and foremost is that we are planning to take questions during this event. So what this is going to look like is if you click on the link that's in the posts that was shared with you, you're going to be taken to this page. So on this TechNick client welcome, if I actually go into busyweb.com and go into our events, going into events and our events calendar, this is the link that you were shared with. And so TechNick Creative, welcome to BusyWeb. If you go inside of here, there's a link that says visit our Google Plus page. So if you click this link, you're going to be taken over to this page, and then you'll note that it says Q&A and live on this page. So if you click on that button, you will see a new screen pop up, and I'm just going to hover over this for a second and pause it so that you don't have to hear me twice. But you can ask questions for me or for Nick during this call by just clicking the green Ask a New Question button and ask your question here. So go ahead and click, and that's how things work when you want to ask a question. I'll see that on the screen, and I'll be stopping at brief moments during the event to answer your questions or to have Nick chime in. So by all means, this is your chance to hear back from us. If you do have additional questions or things that you want to cover, I'll also share with you how to get a hold of us in the near term as well. So that's our story. We're sticking to it. I'm going to move over to our presentation deck again so that you can see a little bit more. So as a basic kind of value add for you today, I'm going to try and give a little bit more detail as well about some of the things that BusyWeb does, what it's like working with us, and how you can get some exposure to additional online marketing. Nick's done a brilliant job over the years of creating great websites for folks and offering them strategy and consulting. We'd like to keep carrying that torch for him. And to that effect, we have busy webinars that we do each Wednesday at noon. And so would love to have you on for those. If you'd like to stop in person at any time, we're located in Champlin, in just north of the city here. We're 15 minutes out of downtown Minneapolis, and would love to see you. We have facility space and training spaces in here, and you're welcome at any time. What we'll walk through today is go through a little bit about BusyWeb, of course, but then I'm going to treat you to a little bit of an online marketing primer. I'm going to go very fast through this because I didn't promise this to anyone, but I wanted to give something of an additional value and to be able to talk while you ask questions, basically. And so we'll go through that. You can keep peppering us with questions about what your hosting solution is, what things are going to look like in the near term and in the long term for the future, and just any general questions you have about what do I do, how do I do it, and what do I do next. So if you let us know any of those things, we'll take care of you there. So in the primer, we'll talk through website basics, writing for the web, a little bit about SEO and some social media tools, and then we'll wrap up and formalize that Q&A. If you do want to get a chance to chat with us live, like over a call, I'd ask that you just submit that via a question or send in an email to sales@busyweb.com, I guess is the box that we'll be monitoring for this one. But if you send in an email to us and just ask if you can be invited into the actual Hangout at about the halfway point, so at about 11:40 or so, we will close down the broadcast for this event and instead let you chat with us live. So just like literally talking to us. So that's only if we have folks that wish to do that. We have a handful of folks that have joined us here today, and so I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Anything you want to add, Nick?
No, I think that pretty much covers it.
Beautiful. Thanks, everybody. If I could have everybody at BusyWeb stop chatting me, please, that would be awesome because it's showing up on the shared screen. And we'll go into here. And for the folks that are listening in that just ask questions, by all means, if you guys want to listen in on the live broadcast, that's cool. All right, so as we go here, here's a little bit about BusyWeb. We are a online marketing agency founded in 1999. We're based out of Champlin, Minnesota. That's just a little bit north of Minneapolis. And we have a team of 12. We have clients all over the world, literally all over the world, from another kind of transaction that we've done similar to the TechNick group and what we've done with Nick. But the basics are that we do WordPress, and that's what we do best. And we also do all of our own hosting of WordPress. And so as you see over the near term, we'll start offering up some new options and some new ideas on how we can continue to work with you. Nick has a bunch of great programs and support levels that he's been offering. And our goal is to keep the spirit of that, if not the exact details, the same. And certainly over the near term, for at least the next 6 months or so, we don't plan to force anyone into a change that they don't need. And my goal personally, as we migrate everyone into the BusyWeb family, is to not make it feel like you've been switched into anything that you don't want. And so we're going to work with you to make sure that you get the right solution for you. And we think that most of our standard hosting will cover about 85–90% of what people normally want. So that's BusyWeb. Here's some pictures of our hive. And so if you get up into the Champlin area, if you're familiar with it, we're right south of Anoka, and we're right off of the main drag on 169. That's the picture at the top is the team members. And we're underneath the big sign, so all you need to do is look for the big sign when you get up into Champlin. We're on the west side of the highway as you're going north, or that would be left. And here's some example or some pictures of the actual space. So we've got a great training facility that you literally walk into a hive, and it's kind of fun. So that's who we are. Here's some examples of what we do. These are BusyWeb clients. Warren Internal Health. We're on WCCO radio every Saturday with the Real Estate Radio Hour. And then we've designed clients or designed websites for clients all over the world. One of the things that we do very, very well is our web hosting. Our hosting includes service and support where we back up and monitor your website. We keep everything updated on a regular basis, and we cover basically anything that's going to go wrong with your site. Packages for BusyWeb's hosting will be converted as we move forward, and Trigvi on our team is going to be reaching out, if he hasn't already, to all TechNick clients and kind of share with you the pros and cons of what's included in all of our hosting programs so that you can decide if you want to make the jump into our bespoke program or if you want to stick with what you've been doing in the past. And certainly for most of TechNick's clients, that has been a great option. So,
Dave, do you mind if I interject something?
Yes, absolutely.
I just wanted to say to everybody watching, this is one of the biggest reasons why I chose to go with BusyWeb to partner with, to work with you guys. The biggest reasons were I just saw they had fantastic work, and that in the WordPress development community, that was really important to me to see the work that they put out. Not to mention the hosting package is just top notch and really comparable with what we had. Not only that, but they'd already had some experience in taking over the hosting of other companies. So I was confident that they would have a really great, smooth process with that. So I just wanted to say that, share that with you, some of the reasons
Awesome.
why I chose them.
Thank you, sir. And yes, absolutely. So we've done this before a time or two. We actually assumed a organization's website hosting. So we picked up 88 websites from the International Association of Business Communicators in 2013, 2014. And so, yes, we kind of understand the intricacies that come with changing up a hosting solution and moving into a standardized kind of centralized thing. So So excited. And again, all of the websites that we've seen for all of you have been brilliant. And we've heard lots of great things about Nick, of course. And so we're delighted to be able to continue to carry that torch. Without further ado, I'm just going to talk one more thing about what we do. We also do social media setups, and we integrate all of those setups into what we call our Buzz Builders marketing programs. And so whether it's Google Ads or SEO campaigns or whatever, I think Nick has said, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, but you're focusing on social strategy and business strategy, really. And so we're continuing to work with Nick as we move forward, although he's going to be kind of working with clients on a different scale or a different level now than what he's been before. So instead of the technician, pun slightly meant, I guess, but I think what we can do is kind of keep that line of demarcation straight. And if it revolves on doing like physical things, that's kind of where BusyWeb falls in. And if it requires big picture thinking and telling you where to go and how to do it and how to get there, that's one of the things that we're going to be working with Nick on in the future. So it's going to be super cool, and we can't wait. As far as requesting support from BusyWeb, there's a couple of key places that you need to know about. One is support@busyweb.com. If you have an email address that you're trying to reach, if you're trying to get a hold of me, Dave, or if you're trying to get a hold of anyone on our team, the fastest way to get support is to send an email into that support box. That activates our bat phone, as you will, and everyone gets a notice, and whoever happens to be on that day, that night, that weekend is notified of that solution immediately. For all of our different levels of support, if there's something wrong with your website, if it goes down, if there's an actual hosting issue, that's tier 1 support, and we'll respond to you as soon as we humanly can on that. Off hours and weekends, that's usually within 4 or 5 hours max. Our technicians actually do get a text message when a website goes down. We monitor against that and make sure that we have that handled. If you have non-urgent support issues, we will get back to you within 24 hours or within 1 business day. Or if it's a escalated support issue, we'll try to get back to you within an hour, albeit within the regular time frames of business work. BusyWeb's hours are from generally 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And if you catch us outside of those times or on holidays, it may take us a little bit longer, but we really do endeavor to get back to you as soon as possible. I'm going to switch over just 1 second again to share with you on the support page, just so that you know what's happening. And where's my mouse? Hello. It disappeared on me. So I'm just going to switch back and everybody will be happy. There it went. All right, now I'm back here. So if I go back into the support box, if you go into BusyWeb's support page, and it's a little yellow button up here, we've got, in addition to requesting support, we have tutorial videos. So I'm just going to click on the request support box. This is very simple. Not a whole lot of documentation needed on this. But if you go in, fill out your name, your website URL, your preferred contact method, whether that be phone or email, and then choosing that, give us your phone number, give us your email in case we do need to speak with you, but then you tell us what you need. So is it, I need instruction on how to do something, a training or a how-to, something's working and no longer is working, or was working and no longer is, my website or email is not working in the way it should, or holy smokes, it's not working at all, SOS, or I just want something new to happen on my website. So this critical failure SOS, that's the one that we try to respond to as quickly as possible. But when we do this, that's going to kind of be on a short-term turnaround, and your mileage may vary. We do try to get back to you as soon as humanly possible. But if it's not a life or death situation, it may take us up to a day to get back to you. Fill out as much detail as you can, and you do also have the option to attach an image. And if you can take a screenshot of the issue that you're seeing, or describe it, or upload the image that you need fixed or whatever, that's also a big help to us as well. As long as I'm in here, I'm going to handle one quick question. What is an escalated support issue and examples from Jen? Jen is actually taking our questions that she's getting in all other sessions or all other places. So escalated support issues would be anything that's mission critical to your business. If your website is physically down, if you're not getting emails and you've got something urgent coming up, basically, if your hair is on fire and it's a big, big deal, that's what we'll try to get back to you on. And again, as a reminder, sending in an email to support@busyweb.com or going through this form is going to be your absolute best option to get served quickly. If you try to get a hold of someone on the team at BusyWeb, we are all on different schedules. And so, especially if you try to send an email to me, I tend to not check emails as often as our on-call tech support. So make sure that you're getting back to this page or into our site if you are having issues. So I'll just mark that question as done. Keep the questions coming. And again, as a reminder, if you're not seeing this note here, or if you haven't tuned in to the webinar, you can ask questions just by going into the actual event and then clicking on Ask a New Question in the green button at the bottom. You do need to have a Google Plus account in order for this to work. But if you don't, you can just send in emails or an email to either support@busyweb.com or sales@busyweb.com. And Jen will be monitoring those boxes and will post those for us as we go. General options between what is supported and not supported for kind of overall website support include password resets are supported, monitoring and maintaining your site. We do that for you. WordPress software and plugin updates. We've got a list of those right on our website that we'll share with all of you. Search engine optimization, so doing the site-wide activation of SEO if you don't have that already installed. Social media integration, if you'd like to auto-post to social media accounts, we can help you with that. Spam screening, removal, and blocking. We will install and activate Akismet for you, or if you don't need comments on your website, we will deactivate that for you or show you how to do it. We're going to back up your site, scan you for malware, and make sure that you're up. So if your website goes down, there's a good chance that we'll know about it before you do, unless you live on your website and hit refresh every 5 seconds. Things that aren't generally supported are content updates. So if you wanted us to just change words on your website, that's not something that would necessarily apply to the included support that we do normally. And again, I'm talking classic BusyWeb hosting. Some TechNick clients have different arrangements, and we're honoring those arrangements until we make new arrangements with you. So if you've been doing something with Nick and you're paying for that, you're going to continue to get served at that same level. And we're going to work with you, and Trigvi on our team will be in touch to talk about specifics on that. Design updates aren't generally included. If you want us to mess with code on your website or change something big, like changing the CSS or the HTML of the site, that's usually something that requires a project and that we would bid out for you in advance of doing something. Updating forms, we'll be happy to show you how to update your forms, but if you need it, we just don't want to burn up your urgent support hours with something that you could do yourself or that you could have someone else on your team or our team do for you for cheaper than the actual hosting support. Non-supported plugins and updates. If you find a whiz-bang plugin and you think it's going to do all kinds of wonderful things, the wonderful new bread slicing plugin, and it turns out that the bread slicing plugin gets crumbs all over your website, we are not liable for that. We will help you to fix it, but we will charge you to do so. And if your account is hacked via non-supported plugins, or if you've set your password to be password or mittens123 and someone has guessed that or hacked into it somehow, again, we will help you fix it, but that's not something that would just be automatically fixed for you. One note on BusyWeb's supported hosting programs, we offer on our general hosting either 3 or 6 hours of support per year as part of our standard hosting. And all of the things on the left don't apply to that hourly allotment. So, if you need a password reset, or if you need, or we monitor and update your website, we don't ding you against your hosting support allotment for those things. So we try to just make sure if you have a problem, if you have a real issue and you need us to give you some help, that's what we have that set aside for. So I'm going to set aside just another moment here and set aside some time for questions. So I'm going to look here. I don't see any additional questions on the site right now, but if you do have those questions, by all means, please do get back to us and send those in. So in general, I think the ways that BusyWeb is the same as TechNick are larger than the ways we're different. And so if you're used to working with Nick and his team, you're going to be delighted and happy with how BusyWeb works. We have a team of 12 folks that's all on the ball and ready to help you at a moment's notice. We try to be as fair as possible, and we have a tagline: generate buzz without getting stung. And our no sting guarantee makes sure that you don't get locked into things that you don't need, or wind up surprised with something that you didn't think that you were going to get pinged with. So we do have a bunch of folks on our team that I can introduce for you. I'm getting a note here, and let me just go through and go to our About Us page to give you pictures to go with faces. One thing before I do that, I just wanted to show you the tutorial videos. So inside of this, if you are wondering how to do a whole bundle of things in WordPress, we have most of the common questions answered via videos on our site. So if you want to remember how to add a new post, a new page, an image from your computer, down to resetting your password, or adding lists, or modifying your menus on your website, all of these are less than 2 minutes. Most are about 35 to 40 seconds, where it just gets right into what you actually need. So this is 2 minutes there. So if you look at that, it goes right into what you need. These are consistently updated as WordPress has been upgraded. These are always current with what the current version of WordPress is. You may have noticed, if you've already got WordPress 4.1 installed, that WordPress 4.1.1 was sent out or pushed out to all automatic upgrades earlier this week. So you're probably going to be able to see that, and it's just one of those things that we keep on top of. All right, so just wanted to talk a little bit about the team and who we are. Here's our folks. We've got myself and Dave Meyer here. I've been around for 20 years in the business. BusyWeb has been around for 16 since 1999, and I've done a bunch of stuff with internal and external communications, work from strategy forward, and we've built a fantastic team around that. We are home based in Champlin here, and prior to April of this year, or of last year, BusyWeb was a completely virtual company, but now we have our offices so that we can all collaborate and have you over to connect with us. Jen is our VP of marketing. She also happens to be my wife. So either she's smart or she's a glutton for punishment. I can't tell which, but it's wonderful to have her on the team. All of the beautiful things that you see at BusyWeb are a result of Jen and Jessica, who was our director of operations, and she wears a few other hats, including our creative director, and she does a bunch of the graphic design. So any of the branding that you see at BusyWeb has been done with at least partial implementation by Jessica. So she's brilliant, wonderful, and we're very lucky to have her. Andy Wojtowski, and if you need to spell that, it's Wojtowski, T-O-W ski. Andy is a brilliant fella based out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin. He is our director of development. He takes care of all of the big projects at BusyWeb and guiding the rest of our team inside of the implementation field. And then Larry, Seth, is our senior developer. He makes it all happen, and he drives all of that code. So Larry's based out of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, and works with us. We see all of those folks every day via online webinar, via Google Hangout usually. But myself, Jessica, and Jennifer are all home-based out of the Champlin office, And then everyone else is either contract or virtual into our team. Trigvi, our director of buzz development. We don't have a picture of Trigvi yet because I think we're waiting to get him in a shirt. He is not walking around. He's not walking around shirtless, but we don't have a BusyWeb shirt for Trigvi yet. And if you know Trigvi, you know it might be close in estimation for that first comment. Trigvi's a lot of fun. He's our sales director, and he's actually the one that's going to be reaching out to all of you so that you're making that connection and to help you make the right decision for your business about what you want to do going forward with your hosting. Trigvi is a great guy. He describes himself as he looks like a linebacker and he wears fancy wingtips. He's got these awesome black and white saddle shoes that are kind of his hallmark. So if you're trying to meet with him, you know. Trigvi just texted me and said that he does wear shirts daily. So, Oren, you see that on there. So he's a great fella. He's a brand new dad, and he's not let the lack of sleep get in his way at all. So thank you very much, Trigvi, and we're delighted to have you with us. Trigvi started full-time with BusyWeb in January of this year. And so everyone else has been with us for at least a couple years. Ryan Lindquist is our lead developer. If you see Buzz, Buzz is actually his creation, and he does all of our top line, most super fancy pants web design. And yes, that is a technical term, but Ryan's a brilliant guy. He does a lot of our work in the print world. So if you have business cards or need for trade show materials, any printed brochures or items, as well as straight up logo work, Ryan has designed hundreds and hundreds of logos. And so if you need a tweak or a tune-up on any of that, he's who you're going to be talking with. And then Kevin, our online marketing specialist, is based out of Rochester, Minnesota. And Kevin is absolutely brilliant. He brings dozens of years of experience in marketing, and especially online marketing, whether it be email marketing or straight up Google advertising, SEO. He's a certified partner and with Google, and just a great and fantastic guy. So we're delighted to have Kevin with us as well. Michelle Hansen is our content curator, and Michelle is relatively new with us, but long with BusyWeb's team. I've known Michelle for 12, 13, 14 years, I guess. And she's co-workers in different jobs with both Jen and myself. So she goes a long ways back. Other folks that haven't made it yet to the About page, which is actually kind of funny because one of them in particular is responsible for updating pages, is Jenna Felsheim. And Jenna is our writer. She does a lot of the content work and a lot of the day-to-day implementations. And then we do have a couple new developers that we're just mainlining or mainstreaming into the team. And you'll be hearing about those as we grow. So thanks, Jen, for that reminder. And again, if you do have any questions, I'd love to hear them, especially how things might work, what's coming up, and how we can help you. So if you do have any of those questions, by all means, let me know. And team, if you do have any questions that you know you've already heard from TechNick clients, and Nick, same thing, if you wanted to chat through that before we get into the rest of the event, this would be a great time to do that. So questions. Yeah, I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to warm up to that, and I'm going to switch back over to the online marketing primer for our sites. So if you've worked with BusyWeb before, and certainly if you've worked with Nick, this is probably not going to be a huge surprise to you, but this is kind of how we work and how we guide our clients through the process of online marketing. So as you think about things or as you work with us, we hope to be able to grow your business with you and to help you invest wisely in your online marketing. And so just think about a few of these things as we move forward. First, with all online marketing, but in particular with social media, it's not as much about selling as it is about helping people. What you're trying to do, especially for B2B businesses, is help as many people and be as useful as possible so that they will respond and refer you either internally or externally to do the work. And so Your job, and this is basically what all search engine optimization comes down to, is to be as useful as possible to the right people. If you can do that in a way that's properly formatted for Google and properly formatted and themed for social media, you're going to do well in your marketing. The thing that you need to continually remind yourself of is that marketing is a practice. And as a practice, you need to view it as an investment. Your website is not the thing that you need to think about at the end of the day and think of it as a big expense. Your website is your money-making machine. Your online marketing is what's going to grow your business and make all of those meetings that you have with clients or all that networking that you're doing sticky and work so that you can grow your business moving forward. I have 4 stages of marketing that I talk through, and I know Nick has his own as well, but I like to tell people that marketing is all about these 4 things. Engage your clients, make yourself interesting, inform them, prove that you know what you're doing, and share with them tips that they need to know. Capture them and their information. Give them something to do on every single page via a clear call to action so that you can convert them into whatever you want to do. You know, a word about conversions. Conversions aren't necessarily clicks or registrations or even phone calls. You know, it's what you ultimately need people to do. So is it additional sales? Is it getting people added into an email marketing list so that you can continue to cultivate that relationship and grow them until they're comfortable enough to work with you? But it's probably not a Facebook like, right? And it's probably not a tweet or a Twitter follow, but instead it's what you can really get or how to get people to the next step in your lead generation process. So that's what we're going from on all of this. For website basics, and I'm sure Nick has walked through with all of you on this, but you know, your website is really the hub. This is where people look for you first, and no matter where they find you, it's where they look for you next. So if you've got a fantastic online marketing campaign and just kind of a so-so website, you're just accelerating the process of people being disappointed or being worried about if they should work with you. You need to have a solid foundation. And the cool part about that is, especially with the way BusyWeb does it, we build all of our websites and help our hosted clients to integrate social media into everything that they do so that you're casting a wider net and reaching out across all of those places wherever someone's most likely to find you. So when you publish to a BusyWeb powered website, that active publishing cross posts to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, and a handful of other places. So if you need to cross post or reach out, that's a great next step to take with us. Make sure that you're paying attention to search engine optimization. You need to look at your meta titles, your meta descriptions, and your heading tags. Make sure that all of your images have alt tags associated with them and that you're linking appropriately. But if you haven't thought about that in a while, we can certainly talk to you. And when Trigby gives you a call, be sure to ask him about that. Your site should be mobile responsive. That means that it's going to display your site correctly regardless of device. Nick, I'm sure most of your sites, at least in the recent past, have been mobile responsive.
It is an absolute prerequisite.
Yeah.
We have not designed a site without mobile responsive since it became popular.
Awesome. And you know, that's one of the interesting and fun things about web design. New things do pop up on occasion. So clients that we designed 2 years ago, that's the next thing that we're coming back to them for. Mm-hmm. And generally, if you haven't thought about or made some at least mild modifications to your website in a couple of years, it's worth having a conversation because technology is getting really cool now. So if you thought it was fun when your website originally launched, there's a lot of really great tools that can help you convert more and show up better on mobile devices in particular. So if you don't have a clickable phone number on your website, for example, or if you have something that, and the easiest way to do this is go to your website, open it up in a browser, and grab the right sidebar handle of your website and just squish it as skinny as it goes. If it doesn't automatically reconfigure, or if it just kind of scrolls off to the side, your website isn't mobile responsive. You may have a mobile version of your website, but that just means more management and less opportunity for people to be engaged. 80%, as much as 80% of folks are looking at websites primarily and first on their mobile devices. And that's just at any given time, we're carrying a supercomputer around in our pocket. So if someone hears about you and your company, they're probably going to thumb it on their iPhone more than or sooner than they're going to drag themselves back to their desk and open up their laptop if they even have one anymore.
Yeah.
So great things to concern yourself with. We talked a little bit about SEO, so I just wanted to cover this. But with SEO, if you haven't thought about this in a while, again, just do a little bit of research. Go to trends.google.com, enter in your industry, and find out what people are saying. Look at it, look at your content, but don't kill the keywords. If you have all kinds of stuff on every single page, or if you're a light bulb manufacturer and you say, you know, our light bulbs are the best light bulbs in the business because light bulbs are really important and you can't see without any light bulbs, so you make sure you're buying light bulbs from us. That's what's called keyword stuffing. And if you have too many of the same word on your website, more than 5.5% of the total content, you're going to get at least degraded by Google and at worst banned by Google for that keyword term. So make sure that you're being careful and thinking about this. If you haven't had a consultation in a while on this, it'd be worthwhile looking at. And in BusyWeb's archive of busy webinars, which again happen every Wednesday at noon, we do actively promote all of the topics that I'm going to talk through today. So if you want to know more, just go into our busyweb.com/events and scroll backwards through the timeline. We have all kinds of, I actually have a 45-minute webinar on in-depth SEO tips. As you're looking at this though, you know, socially, or make sure that you're just doing a title that's 60 characters or less. Doesn't hurt you if it's longer, but Google cuts it off. And certainly if you have your most important part at the end of your headline, nobody's going to see it because Google doesn't show anything more than about 60 characters, give or take. And it's different every time, so we focus on the absolute minimum. Same thing with descriptions. That's the little bit of text that you see underneath the headline inside of Google search results. Make sure that's about the length of a tweet or less, 140 characters. The body of your post or page should be about 300 pages for a perfectly optimized website or a web page. And your keyword density needs to be under 5.5%. So, you know, for a 300 page or for a 300 word website, keep that under 20 or more like 15 to be safe for your particular keywords, and make sure that your content's original. Subscribing to content from Westlaw, FindLaw, or whatever, or for, you know, a regular, there's auto body companies that just post all kinds of content. It's great content for people that visit your website, but if it's listed somewhere else, Google only pays attention to the canonical version or the very first one. So it's not going to help you to get found online. Okay, so very, very quickly, because we're already at 11:40, and maybe I'll switch over. No questions yet, so we're cool. Let's talk through Facebook and what you do. You know, Facebook has almost 2 billion users, so it's a great place for all over connection. So if you want to reach a little bit of everybody, Facebook is a great place for that. 60% of those folks are female, tend to be sort of younger, but it keeps trending older as a lot of the millennials or younger are moving away from Facebook in large part because their parents are on it now. So looking at that, as you look at Facebook, having low volume and high value content is important on that tool. If you want to do it really right, you know, doing posts about 3 times a week with a max of about 10 times a week is great for your Facebook page. Again, this is not your Facebook profile. This is your Facebook page. I'll go through a content exercise some other time because we're running short on time. Twitter, 271 million active users. Interestingly enough, Instagram has more active users than Twitter now, which I think speaks volumes to the fact that Twitter is more of a utility than anything else. Hashtags are what it's all about on Twitter, and it's really a stream of information. It's high volume and low value content. It's just what's going off the top of your head. Norm Macdonald posted something brilliant in the past couple of days on Twitter. He actually published the behind the scenes of the SNL 40th reunion and just did a free flow where he posted, I think it was close to 100 tweets because it's republished elsewhere on the web. and it was just brilliant stuff, but he was just live streaming it as he was going through. That's great use for Twitter. So again, I'm going to skip through that and go into LinkedIn. This is your corporate news, and there's about 300 million users. Not all of those are active. It's still a little bit smaller than Twitter as far as things go, but this has really become the corporate or B2B juggernaut. If you're trying to reach out and connect with people that are doing business, LinkedIn is one of your best spaces to look. One of the things that most LinkedIn people overlook is the fact that there are company pages. And so build yourself a company page. Just go to linkedin.com/company, and that'll give you broad experience and overall exposure to your clients, because LinkedIn company pages are publicly searchable and show up on Google, whereas personal profiles aren't always publicly searchable. For LinkedIn content, you want to focus on high value. So things that make you go, right? If we're getting back into the olden days, this is stuff that you would hand out or talk about in a networking meeting that would tell you this is who we are and what we do and why you need to work with us. So thinking about that. Google Plus, they say 540 million active users. There's probably about 40 million that really use it, though. Anybody that has a Google Plus or a Gmail account technically sort of has an account. So that's what we look at for this. 60% of those are male. What Google Plus is, and especially Google Plus business pages, are a ninja trick to get searched better on the web, to show up higher in search results. Anytime you post anything on your website, publish it over to your Google Plus page on Google Plus, and that's what's called a spark, and Google really likes sparks. So if you want to focus or feature on content, having that on your website is a great tool. Medium volume, high value, minimum 3 times a week. Again, you have to take it for what it's worth. It's not a Facebook killer. It's not even trying to be a Facebook. What it is, it's a great search engine optimization opportunity. So in summary, I'm just going to blank over one last time, make sure that we don't have any specific questions. Looks like we're good. BusyWeb, as a reminder, does web design. That's why we're working with TechNick and why we've merged our services together. We help you with continuing forward with your online marketing. And inside of that, and probably most obviously, we do web hosting. We're going to be talking to you about the next steps in your hosting relationship with us. We already have all of your content over. We've transitioned everything. When you send an email through any of your old channels, that goes to BusyWeb now, and we handle it. If you have any existing or ongoing questions, Nick has not disappeared from the face of the earth. And so we're working with Nick quite a bit on just finalizing things that are happening inside of the transition. Nick's been great about that for us. So again, thank you, Nick, for doing all of that. But we'll help you from here forward. And so if you need something, we would love to have the honor to continue to work with you and to carry that torch. So this is what we do. We do it really, really well. We have our own servers, just like Nick does. And we've assumed possession of both of Nick's servers. So it's all being managed and maintained by people that know what the heck they're doing. And so we're going to continue to keep moving that forward for you. And if you liked TechNick, you're going to love us. And if you love TechNick, just wait until we keep rolling, because It's going to be, Nick's doing a lot of really cool stuff now with his strategy and kind of reconfiguring his career. And we're just so happy to work with a lot of fantastic people. I'm delighted to say that I know a good chunk of Nick's clients already. And between Nick and myself and Trigvi reaching out to all of you, we hope that we'll all be business partners and friends for a good long while. So we do online marketing as well. And so if you need something around generating more leads for your business, helping to enhance your search engine optimization, deepening existing relationships with your customers, or just promoting your products and services, we can help. And we also do online marketing. I'm a constant contact ALE, or authorized local expert, as is Trigvi on my team. We make up approximately 50% of Constant Contact's ALE farm in Minnesota. And so if you need online marketing, or especially email marketing, this is what we do, and we do it really well. Reminder, join us every Wednesday for our busy webinars. They're free every Wednesday from noon to 1 p.m. You just need to go to busyweb.com/events and register. Registration gets you a couple of things. First, we will send you an email to remind you about it and send you a link to join. You'll also be able to ask us questions so that we're sure we're actually dealing with things that you want to hear about versus just hearing Dave talk to himself. So you can ask questions during that event. Each week's event is posted to YouTube. And if you're curious and interested, you can just go to busyweb.com/events or go to youtube.com/busywebcom, C-O-M. And that's where you'll find all of our content. We've got 130 or so of those busy webinars. Formerly, they were Buzz Builders webinars. But and then finally, as a reminder, fill out a Buzz report with us. Go to busyweb.com/buzz if you would like us to look a little bit deeper and to help you figure out where to go next now that we've got a great foundation and you've landed with us. We want to be your business partners. And again, Nick has been a fantastic partner with us so far, and we're looking forward to keeping that going. Anything you want to add, Nick?
Yeah, the one last thing I wanted to add was just to mirror what Dave said about the busy webinars. Some feedback I'd actually gotten was that some clients had been on some busy webinars before before they even met you guys. So, and I've just heard nothing but amazing things about these, so I can't recommend these enough.
Good. We try to make this a family affair. So we did have a starter or a kickoff kind of reception for folks a couple weeks ago, right after Valentine's Day. And we're going to continue to do those about once a quarter. So please do keep your eyes open for our updates and notices. If you click unsubscribe on any of our stuff, you won't hear from us unless there is something urgently relating to your account. But we would love to help you and to continue to offer things forward. We don't try to sell things at every turn. We try to build value at every turn. So everything that we can do to help you grow your business is going to be fantastic for us and for you. And we would really love referrals. We're growing very rapidly. And so if you know of anyone that needs help in their online marketing, we would love that conversation. I'm going to switch back over one last time. I don't see any more questions, so I think we're good to go. If you do have anything, again, best way to do that is to go to our support page and request support. Just fill out this form. You can find us and follow us on Facebook and Twitter, of course, if you want. And up at the top are our Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, and Twitter accounts. But all you need to do is fill out your name, your URL, how you want us to get a hold of you, and what the issue is. And again, from casual to urgent, we'd love to chat with you. I'm Dave Meyer on behalf of myself and Nick, and I'll stop presenting for a moment just so that you can see us one last time. Thank you so very much for joining and hanging out with us. Delighted to have you with us. Welcome. And we're going to email this out to everyone. So if you missed it, by all means, don't let that keep you from sending in those questions. Nick and I will be on hand to answer your questions at any time. Again, I'm Dave with BusyWeb, reminding you that at BusyWeb, we help you generate buzz without getting stung. Talk to you soon. Thanks, Nick.
Bye, everybody.